Thank you, Representative Kagan. The next member we will honor is Representative Klingenschmitt. Honoring Representative Klingenschmitt are Representative Everett and Representative Rosenthal. Whoa. I actually thought that was Lundeen for a second, but it's Rosenthal. Interesting. All right, Representative Rosenthal, let's see what you got.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Wow, from Kagan all the way to Klingenschmitt. Oy vey. What a distance. Yeah, ditto. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, and thank you, Representative Klingenschmitt, for this opportunity to say a few words about your departure, which is none too soon. When you asked me to say a few words about you, I said, God, couldn't he have found somebody else? And then I realized, no, he couldn't. And then I thought, wait. He said, say a few nice words, so I have to say a few nice words. And then the reason why, I'm sort of jocular with Gordon here, or Representative Klingenschmitt, is, I think over the past 2 years, regardless of the fact that we are at such a huge divide between us on so many issues, I think we've developed sort of this personal relationship, a personal banter, and an ability to relate to each other. I've sat next to you in local government. We have chatted on various occasions, and so I think, I guess when I look at you, I see not just a representative, I see a human. And I think, in this environment where we have such difficult bills, and of course we all know the types of things you say when you're not in the building, it's oftentimes hard, especially for my side or someone like me as a gay man, to say, oh my goodness, this guy is evil. And I say to myself, oh my God, people have some very strong opinions about you. And I say to myself, but I can't necessarily feel the same. Because as I said, I look at you as someone who is human, is a man just like me who has, successes and failures and happy and sad. And so I look at you as a peer, as a colleague, somebody I respect, even though someone I viscerally disagree with on so very many things. And yet it's somebody that I know that I know that you're representing your constituents. And I think that as I look around this chamber, we're all elected to represent a constituency. And I think that's another part that helps me relate to you, is that I know there's a part of our state that you represent, and that you do so well from your perspective and your constituency. And I think that has helped me relate to you. So hopefully this has been helpful to remember Representative Klingenschmitt. I don't know if when I came up here, I really didn't kind of know what to say, but hopefully this is kind of helpful in remembering you and thanking you for your service to our state of Colorado.
Representative Everett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. It's interesting. So we saw some members choose two people, and kind of play it safe. So Pete Lee's been up here a couple times, because he talks about this higher calling that we all have. But in typical Klingenschmitt fashion, he chooses Rosenthal and Everett. So go figure. So, I have to tell a little story, about Gordon. So we were down here, I think this year, and we'd heard a pretty moving memorial of a former member. And Gordon and I share a wall, and he's thinking to himself, well, okay, who's going to eulogize me, when I do pass? And so he turns around, and he's a little emotional, and he says, Everett, when I die, I want you to do my eulogy. And then we go into third reading or something. And if for those of you that know me, I sometimes I'm not always serious about things, and I may mess with people. So I hand him a Post-it note during thirds on what I will actually say during his eulogy. So I'll have to kind of tone it down a little bit, but here's the gist of it. It was going to start off with, Gordon loves the gays. Loves the gays. Totally loves the gays. You know what? He hates babies, just hates them so much. And rumor has it that he actually has a tattoo of Nietzsche on God, around his bikini line. And so Gordon's kind of like, maybe I don't want you to eulogize me. But yeah, I think we did something about marijuana too, something about a lot of drugs. He does a lot of drugs. So, but in all seriousness, Gordon came in here with a reputation. Let's be honest about that. Both on the left and on the right, people were not expecting much from Gordon. They're expecting that we're going to see some crazy stuff in the well on a day-to-day basis. A couple times he didn't disappoint. However, let's be honest, in reality, something I found about Gordon early on, and some of you may have noticed this, is Gordon's actually a pretty good legislator. He's a very good legislator. I think on one of the early bills he was running, it was kind of what I call a minor gun bill that dealt with businesses. And he wasn't getting any Republicans on board with his bill. And I said, here's 4 Democrats to go talk to. And introduce yourself, because they probably have a perception of what Gordon Klingenschmitt is just from what they've seen from the media. But be honest with them. Show them who truly Gordon Klingenschmitt is as a person. And about 24 hours later, Gordon had 4 Democrat co-sponsors on this bill. And this is right out of the bat. And I'm thinking to myself, Gordon can actually be successful if he works hard and does the right thing. And Gordon, in his mind, and although you may not agree with him, always tries to do the right thing unless Cut tells him to do something else. But as we look at how we function in this body and putting what's good for the people first, I think Gordon has embodied that. And I think Representative Rosenthal did say the right thing, is he definitely represents his district. And the people did duly elect him. And he even got a bill passed, I think, this year. Did it get killed in the Senate? So again, somebody who came in with, let's be honest, low expectations, but exceeded those expectations and definitely raised the debate in this body. Gordon, you'll be truly missed. Maybe you'll be across the hall in the upper lower chamber next year. But you know what? I think I gained a good friend this year and over the last 2 years, and I think you've been a really, really good legislator. So thank you, and God bless.
Thank you.
Representative Klingenschmitt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Thank you, members. I would like to say a personal thanks to everyone in my district, whether they voted for me or not. House District 15 sent me here, and I tried really hard to work to be their voice in this chamber. I want to personally thank my wife, Mary. We've been married 24 years, coming up on our 25th anniversary. Also, my mother, Joanne Clark, my father, Carl Klingenschmitt, my sister, Julie Briggs. I was adopted when I was 3, so they changed my life. I owe them everything. And I want to thank you, the members of this chamber, because I now consider you part of my family. And I feel like I've built lifelong relationships with each of you. I've tried to. And you have all of my respect, and I owe you a great debt. When I came in here, you may have had this impression before you got to meet me. Oh, he's that scary guy who says crazy things on the internet. And you were right. But I want you to know I have worked really hard in this chamber to overcome that. And I have intentionally tried to be the friendliest guy in this room and the funniest guy in this room. And I have worked hard to build those personal connections. I came here with sort of a missionary zeal. And for me, it's always about the cause. It's about the crusade. It's about, honestly, I'm a former Navy chaplain, fighting for my faith, fighting for the things that I believe, trying to win converts. That's where I come from. And you might picture Don Quixote tilting at windmills at state affairs. And sometimes that was me. Somebody told me once that missionaries, when they go into a foreign land and they're trying to win converts, sometimes they succeed, sometimes they don't, but they always come home wearing grass skirts. And you think about that. Sometimes the missionary is the one who gets converted. And when I say to each of you has converted me in some small way. And I am a better man for having known you, and my life has changed because you have influenced me. And I want to say thank you to each of you.